PBnZ Sports Chaos fans, we're coming back at you. Socially distancing once again. As you can see, PB's down in Florida, those palm trees going on. Hey, PB, what are you drinking, by the way, buddy?
Oh, well, I must say, Boston fans might not want to hear this, but in honor of the Tampa Bay Lightning, I am drinking a Tampa Bay brewery. This is a great beer. If you haven't had a Cigar City High Life in your life, you should try it. It's 7.5%. It's a delicious IPA, really strong, really hoppy, really tasty. And, of course, Tampa, they're famous for their cigars there. Cigar City Brewery, High Life IPA. Check it out.
Ooh, all right. That's the last we're going to talk about Tampa for a few minutes anyways. All right. Hey, by the way, speaking of sports and history, it was a tough week in sports because we lost a couple legends this week. Big John Thompson, Georgetown coach. I love the Georgetown Hoyas, Hoya Paranoia. I know they were freaks. People didn't like them. They were thugs. I love the brand of basketball. John Thompson was a great coach. By the way, DYK, he won 2 NBA championships as well, playing for none other than the Boston Celtics. Red drafted him out of, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Syracuse, I think. I'm not sure, but I think that's where he was. Anyways, and then we lost another legend, Tom Terrific.
Yeah.
Tommy Seaver. Man, that guy could pitch. One of only, I believe, 3 guys ever to pitch 3,000 Ks, 300 wins, and a sub-3-run ERA. Unbelievable. He was
Incredible.
A great pitcher. And he pitched a little bit for the Red Sox in the year of '86, correct?
Yeah, he did. He winded out his career maybe there. But, yeah, he mostly was Mets, but, yeah.
And by the way, PB, another sports legend is done this week. The Fours, a famous Boston sports bar. You know it well. I know it well. We've been there a few times. Shutting the doors down because of the pandemic. They said they can't recoup, so they're done. The doors are closed. That was a great sports bar. If I'm not mistaken, in 2015, ESPN named it the best sports bar in America. So, RIP the Fours. All right, man, listen. Hey, early this week, MLB trade deadline, and the Padres, I know I picked them to go to the playoffs. You did not. They made a big freaking splash. 8 new guys coming in, 9 guys left, and then 7 guys out of their minor leagues. They're going for it. I don't think they can catch the Dodgers, but what a bold splash. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? As long as they can get in the playoffs and get into a series and get the pitching going and, they're a pretty well-rounded team this year. I like that prediction that you made. I wasn't there, but what I'm seeing out of the Padres right now, I really like it.
And by the way, you like the Rays, and they're running away with the AL East, right? The Yankees are now in 3rd place. Ha-ha, Yankee fans. Although we both picked them to win the AL, but I don't know, man. I think the Rays are going to run this thing down to the ground. Yeah. And the other surprise team in the AL still holding on is the A's. They're over the Astros, the Pukes. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, we could see an A's Rays ALCS.
Yes, you're right. And by the way, the Sox, they traded their best 2 offensive players on the year anyways this year. Missy Two Bags is gone. I'm disappointed by that. Kevin Pillar is gone. They got a bag of donuts back for those guys. And I still insist, Chaim Bloom must go. I don't care. They're not – PB, I don't see these guys contending for another 5 years. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you have to say about the Red Sox is, though, 2 of the last 3 World Series they won, I believe they finished last in their division the year prior to winning the World Series.
Ooh, all right, PB's coming out with some good news for us. All right.
Yeah,
right,
if history repeats itself, we could see a last place followed by a World Series. But there were a ton of off-season moves and really get those guys healthy, and Sale would have to come back, obviously, 100% and lead that team. So,
by the way, we had some history this week at Fenway Park. Not only did 1 National League player do it, but 2 National League players back-to-back nights hit 3 home runs in Fenway Park. First time ever from the Atlanta Braves. Adam Duvall and Marcell Ozuna hit 3 homers each night, back-to-back. Never been done before in Fenway Park.
And didn't the Red Sox play a road game at Fenway Park?
Correct. Yes.
That's another pretty historic moment, right?
Baseball, it's just been an unbelievable year in baseball. It's just been Yeah, you know what? That's why we won't talk much more about it until we get to the World Series, I guess. But hey, Kentucky Derby, we did not pick this yesterday. We usually do. We didn't pick it. I'm glad we didn't because I think I might have picked Law, but he had no shot. He was running from the 17th position, but the horse in the 18th position came out and beat him. Authentic. Never before at the Kentucky Derby has a horse from that far out won the race. Weird 2020. Weird friggin' year, fans. That's all I gotta say. All right, PB, we got to talk NHL. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I unfortunately picked it. I didn't want to pick it. What happened?
Yeah. Good job. You picked the Lightning. That was a great pick. I thought the Bruins were going to win in 7. I think you thought it was going to go 7-2. And ironically enough, it was the only series that did not go 7.
You're right.
7. This one only went 5. Bruins came out of the gates on fire. They won game 1. Halleck was looking awesome. Game 2, they took them to overtime, and that looked like the Bruins could pull that one off. I think they outshot the Braves like 2-1 or something in that game. So you're like, okay, they lost. It was overtime, whatever. They can get back on track. But the reality is the last 14 games these two teams played prior to the start of the series, Tampa Bay had won 11, and the Bruins had only won 3. So Tampa Bay has our number. It's very clear. I'm sure we'll be getting into the Bucks and the Heat pretty soon. The Heat, just like the Heat, have the Bucks number, right? So it ended up Bruins out, Tampa Bay advances, and I'll tell you what, Tampa Bay right now looks like the best team on ice, in my opinion. The way they handled the Bruins, they have the most rest. All the other series went 7, including the Islanders, who almost choked on a 3-1 lead over Philly.
Correct, yep.
They let that go to 7. Next thing you know, they're playing an overtime game in Game 7 after they played a double overtime game in Game 6 for Philly to tie it 3-3. And then Philly finally – no, I'm sorry. They played a double overtime game in Game 6 for Philly to come back and tie it 3-3. And then the Islanders blew them out in Game 7. It was 4-0, I believe. So Islanders move on. We both predicted, regardless of who wins the Bruins-Tampa Bay series, that they would be the team that represents the Eastern Conference Stanley Cup. And here we are with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders. Is it pretty obvious that Tampa Bay is going to go on and win that series?
I agree. I said Cinderella Slippers coming off after that last series with the Islanders against the Flyers. I don't see them coming. I think it's done in 5 games. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning win 5 games again.
You know, that's exactly what I was going to say, 5 as well. And the reason is because the Islanders just went 7, a couple double overtime games. They're exhausted. They've been on the ice a ton. So I look for the Lightning to win this series in short order. 5 games, I think, is a good prediction.
Are you shocked about the West right now?
I am a little bit shocked. I'm shocked that both those series went to 7, and I'm shocked that the Avalanche lost. I had the Avalanche in the Cup. You had Vegas. I thought Vegas Avalanche would have been a great Western Conference final. I'm surprised the Canucks took the Vegas Knights to 7 games. I didn't think 7. And then you had the Avs making a great – they were down 3-1 as well. They won straight on the Stars to tie that series 3-3. And then that was the Game 7 that went to overtime, and they did end up losing Game 7. I would have loved to see an Avs-Vegas final, but it looks like the Stars did squeak in. And I just can't believe the Stars and Islanders are in this thing. I think it's Vegas. I think it's easily Tampa.
2020, man, 2020.
I know.
All bets are off.
And I told you the two teams with the biggest losing streaks in the NHL going into COVID were the Islanders and the Stars. Islanders have lost 7 in a row. The Stars have lost 6 in a row. And they come out of the gates smoking. They don't even have a top 4 seed. They had to win an extra round. Remember that. Right. They didn't play a round robin. They played a series to get there. And if they make it to the finals, I will be completely surprised. I wouldn't doubt it, like you say, because it's 2020. But I got Vegas and I got Tampa in this final, which would be a great, great Stanley Cup.
It would be. I think that's the way it's going to go down, too. I'm with you on that one. The last thing I'll say about the hockey, the Bruins, 3 things, observations. 1, forechecking killed them. Tampa Bay forechecked them to hell. And the Bruins did not forecheck at all. Tampa Bay got their legs back on the when they had the ball, the puck in their zone, because they could take a little 2-second break. Secondly, stupid penalties early in the game. And when Marchand and Bergeron, your 2 offensive players, 2 of your 3 best offensive players, are your best penalty killers, your legs are gone. And that happened. By the 11-minute mark, I've watched every game, the 11-minute mark, they faded. And it was because their legs were gone. And I hate to say it, but Big Z, as much as I would love to see him come back if he wants to play one more year, I don't see it. Do you see it?
Yeah. No, and you bring up a good point, just Big Z alone, but just what about the Bruins in general? Was this their last window? I mean, we're going to talk more as we get in the offseason into next year, but was this their window of opportunity? Like, these guys are getting young. They're not getting any younger, right? They're getting older. Your core players, I mean, Pasternak's still pretty young, but I don't know.
But the rest of them, they were in 2011, right, when they won the Cup.
Yeah. All right, but what about this question, though? What about Tuukka? Does this mean Tuukka easily is just going to come back, no problem, be the #1 goalie next year?
If he wants to play, they have no other option. There's no other goalie out there. I mean, you're not going to get a guy in free agency, I believe, that's going to be the #1 goaltender.
All right. Okay. Good stuff.
All right. Hey, let's have a little NBA talk, man. Whoa.
All right.
NBA is whoo. All right. So we both had the Nuggets losing to the Jazz. The Jazz were up 3-1 at one point in time. Kaput. The Nuggets are in, and not only are they in, they surprised the Clippers last night, and it's a 1-1 series. The West, I said it earlier, I said the West is going to beat each other up. I think the team that comes out of the East is probably going to win this thing because they're going to have fresh legs. But we'll see, because I thought Milwaukee was going to be that team, and now your Miami Heat is absolutely steamrolling them. They did lose today. It's 3-1 now, but that'll be over in another game. I think it's going to be ended in Game 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And the Celtics, oh, my God. After that game, I was chatting with a couple of my buddies, and I said after they lost that game with a half second left, that if they don't come back in the fourth game, which they did not, they lost. It's now 2-2. They're done. I think they're going to lose in 6. I hate
That's
to say
a wind
it,
out of your sails. Wow. Okay, that just like the Bruins, right? Bruins won their first game and they lost 4 straight. Maybe the Celtics win their first 2 and lose 4 straight. Toronto's obviously a great team. Lowry is like playing out of his mind right now. I really feel like that was a wind out of your sails shot. I mean,
big time.
If this is that shot, they go up 3-0.
Right.
And it is 2-1. They, like you said, they come back and win. It's 2-2 now. It's going to be a tough road ahead. We both took the Celtics, though, after they were up 1-0. The Celtics could win the series. But you're switching your theme now. I'm going to stick with the Celtics. I think the Celtics can still take this. It will go 7. It's going to be a great game, great series. Celtics Heat final in the East.
All right, so let me ask you this question. If it goes Celtics Heat, who do you like?
The Celtics do match up. See, it's a weird conundrum going on in their East, right? With the teams that match up. Like Toronto owns Miami.
Correct.
But they didn't get each other, right? And Miami owns Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee owns Boston. It's just like this weird conundrum. So if you put Miami and Boston, that would be a hell of a series. 7 games, Celtics will be in the Eastern Conference Final. I think the Celtics can win the NBA championship if they can get past this series with Toronto.
I agree that when they play their game and they don't let their heads get ahead of them and don't play out of control like Jason Tatum did last game, you're right. They could, but I'm afraid I think immaturity is going to catch up to them at the end of the day. And by the way, I know we had the Lakers earlier. I think they run out of gas.
I had the Lakers Clippers with the Clippers. I had the Clippers in the finals.
Yes.
I had a Clippers Bucks final. Bucks obviously it doesn't look like they're going to make it anymore. But the Clippers, they're playing well. But they're up against the
Nuggets.
The Nuggets, and the Nuggets took a game from – is that 1-1 or is that 1-0?
It's 1-1. Yes, it is. It's 1-1 right now. The Nuggets stole the second game.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets have shown me a lot that I didn't think they had. When they came back from 3-1 against the Jazz to win that series, Jamal Murray, he's a UK player. I'm a UK fan. He was not that good at UK. That guy's – right now he's on Fantasy Island.
What about the Lakers? Do you think Houston can get past the Lakers?
Originally, I didn't think so, but when they stole the first game, which I thought for sure they wouldn't because their legs would be rusty, worn out from the series they had, they stole that first game. I think the Lakers are in trouble. I really think the Lakers are in trouble. I don't know if they can match up with the Rockets. The Rockets' only problem will be whether or not Westbrook and Harden can stay hot. If they go cold, that's the only chance the Lakers have. But if those guys can stay hot and hit 45% of their shots, they win.
All right. So we might be seeing a Rockets-Clippers Western Conference. Pretty interesting.
I'll say this. If you see the Rockets and the Clippers, and the Celtics and the Heat. Those are 4 teams that all are the same style of teams.
They all equal 25, 25, 25, 25 chance of winning.
Yeah, and none of them have an outstanding big man. It's just they play a little bit of that small ball game.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Wow.
All right.
That's a good point.
All right. So you still sticking with your right now? You're gonna go with on the NHL pick is
My NHL pick. I'm gonna go Lightning Knights with the Lightning winning it all.
Me too.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And then in basketball, I'm still gonna go Clippers Lakers.
All right.
But I have the Clippers going to the finals though, against the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to get through this and they're going to go 7 with the Heat. So I'm going to go Clippers Celtics. But I'm going to take the Clippers to win the whole thing.
I got Clippers and Heat.
And then who's winning that?
If the Heat goes, Heat wins it all.
Heat wins it all. Okay.
Yep. All right. Sports fans, we are going to come back at you again on Labor Day with our NFL predictions. Looking forward to that. We're going to talk about this crazy hashtag 2020 upside down year. We'll let you know what we think is going to happen. You're going to be shocked when you hear some of the stuff that comes out of our mouths in our NFL prediction show. PB, signing up, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, man.